What is up, YouTube? Sorry it's been a while since I've made a video, but I decided to make a short little video today because I've been asked a lot through people on my Facebook and other groups about Asian water monitors and tegus. Is there a difference? Are they alike? Are tegus monitors? Well, in aspect, yes and no. Monitors are different than tegus. Tegus have the forked tongue, but tegus are completely different. They're built different, their necks are different, their body mass is different, everything is different except that they have a forked tongue. They both have the Jacobson's organ, but they are not the same lizard. They are closely related, but they're not even in the same genetics code. Now, me personally, I have the tegus y'all seen in the unboxing, and I have a baby hatchling Asian water monitor. Now people ask me, "Hey Justin, what's the difference between CB, CBB, and WC, or farm caught?" Okay, well CB is capture bred, means that the baby was born in captivity, but the parents may or may not have been captive bred as well. Captive bred and born CBB means that the eggs were made in captivity. The mom and the dad mated in captivity, had eggs, and the babies hatched in captivity. And then you have your wild caughts, which are basically your imports, your farm raised or whatever. Now, when people hear farm raised, that's just really a kind of a sell gimmick, because 90% of the time the farm raised are wild caught babies or adults or subadults or juveniles that have been taken from the wild. Now, when babies are hatched, because if people don't know, it takes 6 months for a water monitor's egg to hatch. It takes a long time. That's why you really don't see very many people doing the breeding of tegus, capture bred and born, or the breeding of monitors, capture bred and born, because they take so long to hatch. Now, you get asked, can you tame a wild caught or import? You can, because mine, she was a wild caught baby Asian water monitor. Now, she came from backwater reptiles. I would never recommend them at all. They're just not a good company. No offense to them, they're just not. If you could stay away from underground reptiles, do that as well, because no offense to them, there's been a lot of horror stories, and there's horror stories with any company that you go with, because there's no perfect company, there's no perfect breeding, there's no perfect anything. But definitely try to stay away from backwater reptiles, or underground reptiles. Um, so back to the water monitor. Can you train them? Can you calm them down? Yes. Now, there's going to be good and bad. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Good and bad um, examples of any animal. You can have a calm Asian water monitor, and you can have an aggressive one that just never calms down, or you can have one that starts out a little aggressive and then you can calm down. Same thing with Niles, same thing with your more truly arboreal species, your green tree monitors, your blue tree monitors, your black roughnecks. I would never recommend owning a croc monitor, because those are just freakishly huge, way bigger than an Asian water monitor. They get easily 8 feet. I mean, and yes, Asian water monitors can get up to that big, because like the biggest one ever on record was 10.5 feet. I think it was from Sri Lanka or something. I don't know exactly where from, but the biggest Asian water monitor on record is 10.5 feet. Um, but they can be very good animals. They're very skittish. They're very intuitive, though. They're very watchful of everything. You just got to make really slow movements, and very um, thought out interactions with your animal. Like her right now, she's in her hide, but if you want to see, she's kind of popping her head out and everything. But they're very intuitive, very good animals. Um, I can try to see if I can show y'all her little, she's in her little hide. You know, she's popped her head out, but she popped her head back in because she's scared of every little thing still. But that's her little cage and everything. But a tip with monitors, you know, they're going to need a big enclosure when they get older, but you don't always want to go with a freakishly large, full-grown monitor enclosure for a baby, because the bigger the space, the more out in the open they feel. They don't feel as secluded, and you want to have more than one hide. But there's going to be people saying, you know, do this or do that, and sometimes it works for one monitor owner, and sometimes that same trick might not work at all. See, with Baby Yoda, my little water monitor, I got her and she was eating pretty good, but then she came to where she didn't really want to eat very much. She started throwing up, started having some diarrhea. Well, I took her to my veterinarian and got her fecal exam and everything, and come to find out, she has what they call flagellated protozoa and a high count of it. So she got some medication given to her. Now I got her some Panacure for internal parasites and worms, and Flagyl was given to me from the vet for the protozoa count. Now, doing that, it can make their stomachs upset. It can agitate their gastrointestinal tract, and that's never a good thing. But you got to do what you got to do, because if you don't, they will die. So now, you know, I'm dealing with her not really wanting to eat very much. But I got her Pedialyte for electrolytes. I got her, you know, some purified drinking water in the gallon for that. I got, you know, her Panacure when it needs to be administered. I got her Flagyl when it needs to be administered. And I also got some carnivore care diet. It's a powdered substance. You mix it with water, you put it in a syringe, and you administer it. Either drop it on their nose, they'll lick it off themselves, or you might have to pry their mouth open, put it in their mouth, and slowly put it in there, and get them to start eating. And it's a meal replacement, and it's a food uptake. It makes them want to eat more. So she's been doing good with that. When I first got her, she was very skittish. She didn't ever really come out of her hide. But now she, after her medicine was given to her, she's more active. She's out and about in her enclosure. She sees me. She sees my kids. She sees my dog. She doesn't dart off. She doesn't run around banging her head and stuff. You know, and this is a wild-caught animal. So people that say you can't tame down a wild-caught, that is false. But is it harder? Yes. Will it take longer? Yes. I've had her for about a month. She's never tried to bite. She's never tail whipped, never hissed, never puffed up. She's a very good example. But like I said, you can have good examples and you can have bad. You know, there's been people that have gotten wild-caughts and they're just puppy dog tame, seems like, right out the box. Then you have some that are just, you know, the spawns of Satan, and no matter what you do, they just stay that way. And this is how it is, because with something that has such high intellectual thinking, something that is so intelligent as a monitor, they're going to be their own person, just like we are our own people. They are their own person as well. They're their own animal. So that's the good thing, but bad thing about having something with such high cognitive thinking, because they are smarter than some mammals. Now, they are the most intelligent reptile, but there have been proven cases that monitors are actually smarter than some mammals, which is an impressive feat for anything, because mammals are the most intelligent species of all animals on Earth. So, yeah, if y'all want to get one, go for it. Just know what you're getting yourself into. Be very prepared, because they do grow quick, but be wary of the upfront costs. If you're going to get a wild caught, you're going to spend anywhere between 90 to, sometimes I've seen them up to $200 a piece. So at most $200 for the lizard, $50 for shipping. At most for a wild caught, you're going to spend is about $250, $260. Now, if you want to get a captive bred and born, you go to a nerd, you're going to be spending at least $700 up. I have a few friends on Facebook. Josh King is one of them. He breeds them, and you can get them from $400 up to about $800 and $900 for a captive bred and born. Beautiful, beautiful monitors. So be wary of that. And if you get a wild caught, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that because Baby Yoda is a wild caught. But be prepared as soon as you get it. Let it acclimate for about a week. See if it eats. If it eats, good. But even if it eats and it looks like it's all good, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's not. They're gonna have the flagellated protozoa, some type of protozoa in their gut, or intestinal tract. They're gonna most likely, if almost always, have worms, just like puppies and kittens are born with worms. So you have to be wary of that, and do your research before ordering one to see if you have a exotic pet vet near you. So I did, and that's why I got her, and my Tegu, and you make sure that you have a vet that can assist you if need be, and if you do, take them to the vet. You know, they're going to do the check, the fecal exam, everything. With her, it ran me about 110. So that's what you're going to be looking like. You're going to look anywhere between about $100 to $120 for a visit, and that's including the visit, the fecal exam and test, and her medicine. Ran me about 110. So be wary that, you know, at least your first checkup is going to be about $100 to $120 bill right there, and you have to get them checked. I use, you know, basking lights. I have heat lights for nighttime that don't emit any light. They're a ceramic heater, and I have a all-in-one heat UVB and UVA bulb. Some people say you don't need to use UVB for them. I wouldn't chance it. I would always suggest you do that. They like their stuff hot. Like her cage at all times is usually at the lowest about 80 degrees, anywhere between about 80 to 90, and her humidity I keep at about 60 to 70 humidity. Anywhere around there, you're pretty good. But yeah, guys, they're highly insectivorous when they're babies. Like highly. I mean, you can get them to eat pinkies. I've had her eat pinky mice. I've had her eating pinky rats. I've had her eating fish. I've had her eating dubia roaches and stuff like that. Another thing, speaking of fish, I learned my lesson, and luckily last time I fed her a live fish was before I went to the vet, but from what the vet has told me, don't feed them live fish. Doesn't mean if you buy them from PetSmart, Petco, any pet store, catch them, especially don't catch them out of the wild and feed them. Don't ever feed anything from the wild to your animal, because it's going to give them a foreign parasite that their body has never seen, because they are from Indonesia. They're from, you know, South Asia and stuff like that. So don't do that. And if you're going to do fish, do frozen. Like I do frozen salmon for her, and ground turkey, and whole eggs, and quail eggs, and stuff like that. So don't feed goldfish, don't feed shiners, don't feed any type of minnow. Always do frozen, because if you do frozen, 99% of the time it's going to kill the protozoa and or bacteria or some type of parasite that's inside of that animal. So even if they ingested a dead parasite, it's dead. It's not going to be able to parasitize them at all. So be wary of that. But if you want one, a different animal that's smart, that can tame down, that can literally be like a dog, go for it. Get you an Asian water monitor all day long. Be very cautious of what you do, and be very prepared to sometimes hand feed or hand water and literally baby them, and have to spend some money on them, because I've had to do that for her. I'll be making some updated videos with her in the near future once I get her up and feeling better, so y'all can see her and see her grow, because she's only maybe at most about 2 months old right now. So she's a baby. She's not even 2 feet long from head to tail. She's maybe a foot and a half, if that, from head to tail. So she's very, very small. But until next time, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Thanks for all the views and the support, and I look forward to doing some more interesting, fun family videos with y'all in the future. Alright, guys, God bless, and thanks for watching. This is Monitor Medlin, signing out. Bye, guys.